Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the EGlaze Chronicles. I am your host, EGlaze, and after a little hiatus, I'm back. I'm on the road to 100, and I had to bring my dear friend back with me, Elizabeth Williams. She's traveled the world, but we still connect in ways, and I wanted to bring her back and just talk about everything that's happened over this pandemic to the new season to everything. And one of the best ambassadors to sports in general, just not women's basketball, but in sports. Miss Elizabeth Williams. How you doing, Elizabeth?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, 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 good. 4-2. I'm gonna start with the good news. 4-2 after an 0-2 start with coaching changes and everything. What's been the change in the team? What's been the switch? What's made y'all 4-2 right now? Four straight wins.
We definitely have the momentum. We've been playing pretty consistently, playing with a lot of energy, and trusting, the offense and the defense that we're running. So we're just trying to keep that going.
How do you feel about what was the biggest turning point as a leader of the team going in your seventh year right now to be able to take the team after all the changes this year with Coach Collins leaving and going to Baylor and Coach Mike taking over? What was the thing as a leader of the locker room that you stepped into to make sure that this team tried to stay on course as best as it could?
Um, Gosh, just staying together. We can't control the outside things that happen, but we can control our attitudes. We can control how hard we practice. Um, you know, just not letting all the stuff that was happening on the outside dictate what happens on the floor. And I think it was just a testament to the players we have on this team and like what it means to be a professional. Um, so yeah, and that's like how we kind of took all of the changes and just embraced them.
You, I kind of mentioned a second ago, seventh year or eighth year? Is it seventh or eighth? I think it's seventh, right?
It's 7.
Do you feel like an old school vet now? I mean, you put some years on, 7 years. How do you feel now going into that seventh, playing this year? Do you feel, as they say, the old school now, or you still feel like you're still in your prime right now?
There are days where I feel a lot older than I am, like physically. So I always have to adjust to that. But I think again, like it also with the players that we have on this team, like everybody's energy is so high, so you feel like you're younger, like you feel like you have really high energy. Um, and I think I've tried to embrace that as like one of the older players.
What's been the biggest change over 7 years from when you started? How it has play changed? Has tempo changed? What's been the biggest change you've seen since when you started to where the league is right now?
I think the biggest change, the level of play, even from the young players, it's really high.
Mhm.
It's really one. It's hard to make it in this league,
Right.
but two, I think we're seeing like from the young players that come in, how skilled they are, how confident they are. They're like coming in to take spots. So once you add that to obviously the experience of a lot of the vets in this league, you've seen a lot of growth from between when I first got here and to now.
Right. You talk about how hard it is to get in that league. Every year I see players that will be drafted and still might not make the squad. Uh, Talk about 144, which is the great documentary by ESPN. That means how many players are in the league. Talk about how special it is to be in this league every year because, like I said, that 144 is not guaranteed. And I've seen a lot of great young players and older players not make squads with that.
Yeah, that number it's really special, and I think it's special to a lot of us because it like humbles everybody. Like it's a reminder of how tough it really is, and then it's also a reminder to make sure like, dang, I've really got to be working every second to make sure that I don't lose that spot as one of the
Right.
144. So when you think about our impact off the court and using, you know, a relatively small number in a professional league to do what we did, that's so impactful. And then on the court, just thinking about like, wow, this really is the best of the best. So I
That's
always
the
have to
best.
come out playing as hard as I possibly can.
And I brought it up, the 144, because of the ESPN documentary. What was your overall thought about it, seeing it and being a part of it? What was it for you to kind of relive that and think about what all went down last year in the pandemic?
It was honestly really emotional. One, I was obviously super proud of Janae and the fact that she was the executive producer of it, even though she wasn't in the bubble. She got her story out there.
Right.
But yeah, it was really emotional. Just like going back, thinking about how heavy it was dealing with all the social justice issues that we did. And then obviously like the high emotions of seeing
Right.
the success and the joy that we found in that. But I mean, I thought it was really well done, and I think fans can appreciate what it looks like when we're together and what are, whether it's social justice or just like being teammates and being athletes, like what that's really about.
Was being activist or being a part and being a leader in social justice something that you've always had in you, or you've always been a part of, or was it just something last year that made it just bubble up? Because everybody thinks Elizabeth's quiet. I've heard some stories that Elizabeth don't be fooled, but but was it always something inside of you, or you just felt like I have to do something? This is time. It's too much going on, from the killings in the streets to the emotional representation for us in politics. What was it about it that just made you say I have to be a part of this, and I'm ready to speak my mind and get some things out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that the pandemic forced is like everybody had to step back and think about what's important to them.
Yeah.
And because we never really had a time where like everything stopped. So I think in that moment, and then after, seeing all that was happening, it was kind of in your face. I think
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, it's one thing to acknowledge that this type of injustice is happening, but it's another thing to actually want to speak up and do something about it. So like, yeah, I still don't consider myself like super extroverted, but I think for anyone, when there's something that's important to them and that they're passionate about, they're going to speak about it.
Were you proud of everybody and the way that they stepped up in the league? I know I was. It was so much, because it wasn't just that y'all talked about it during that time frame. You ladies, the WNBA had a huge part, especially with election turnout and voices. And we saw you guys with the shirts. I think we start seeing other players and teams and leagues start doing some things that y'all did. You were in the forefront of a lot of things. How proud of you of what you ladies were able to accomplish in the WNBA and still are accomplishing, not saying it is over.
Yeah, I think it was important to make sure, like, it's one thing to say something, but it's another thing to do something. So we always wanted our actions or our words to have actions behind them. And I think we stuck to that, especially 2020 was the election year. So
Yeah.
that made everything that we were doing like even more heightened in its importance. And so I think we did a good job of really embracing that and making sure it wasn't just words. Like, we're going to follow up with action and make sure that we're doing things the right way to make an impact.
Did y'all ever fear or feel or think that there would be some impact? Did y'all just say whatever happens, or did y'all just keep moving forward, just not worried about the impact? You're more worried about what y'all could do for the change that y'all was searching for? Because I know a lot of people worry about booing on when you took a knee or whatever. Were y'all even worried about that, or you just focus on working towards making sure justice was taken care of?
Yeah, I don't think we were worried about how it looked. We just wanted to see it done.
Yeah, right.
I think that's just kind of a testament to the type of woman that we are, and the type of work that we're doing. It was more important to make sure that this work wasn't in vain, regardless of how it appeared to other people.
Did the bubble make you better as a person, as a player, or just overall? How did the bubble make you when you came out?
Yeah, I would say so. There's definitely nothing like it, no experience like it.
Right.
So I mean, I think everyone that you would talk to that was in the bubble would say the same thing, honestly.
Do you feel like when y'all came into this season and you got some of your players back, How was the emotion of everybody? Was it like we're ready to play? We're ready to get, I mean, we're slowly getting fans back, and I can't wait till we get a College Park rocking like it should be. But I'm just saying, you know, to get back into the plane and going on traveling and all that, how was it going into after coming off from overseas and to get into this season? How was the mindset? Were you looking forward to the traveler? Were you looking forward to being around some fans again? And how was it for you guys coming back and starting this year?
I think everyone was anxious to get back to a sense of normalcy. Even like having the little bit of fans was nice, but then when we played, just us playing in New York and Barclays, like
Yeah.
their 30% capacity is like so many people, right? It was so loud, and it felt like normal.
Right.
And I honestly think everyone was just excited to get back into that. Obviously, safety is the priority, but we've proven that we've done things safely, and you know we have so many black vaccinated players, so it's really helping out and making things feel like normal.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I want to ask you, because I always like to bring up little brother, but you know, are you able to guide him? I think sometimes, you know, when we have siblings and we go through what we went through, and you kind of have to think about your little brother during some of the things that are going off the street, but also trying to guide him into being a professional yourself and hearing everything, and you know, knowing he's going to the same school where your jersey is hanging up. But do you try to guide him and make sure that he's doing the right thing as a big sister, as a professional, knowing what's coming and been around the world and been a professional for now 7 years? Do you try to work with him and talk to him about things and just, you know, make sure you don't screw up the Williams name? Do you tell him that? Don't mess up the name. The name is strong.
I don't think he's gonna mess up the name. But yeah, we talk about little things that professionals should do, or that you know, people are always watching how you interact with just anyone, right? Not just how you interact with coaches or your teammates, but you know, how you're interacting with the person who's feeding you, you know, the people who clean up after you. So we talk a lot about that. Because I mean, I think the on the court stuff always speaks for itself, but teams want people that they know they don't have to worry about off the court, and that are really mature. And so we talk a lot about that. But yeah, I'm not super worried about him. I'm honestly just excited for him and excited for him to have a normal college season.
I just, as a father myself, to see you two doing what you're doing and being, I know your parents are, I'm sure they try to keep cool, but to see that one baby playing ball here, one baby, I know they just have to be giddy, and just knowing where they come from and doing all that stuff. It just amazes me that you two are excelling, not only just excelling, but excelling at a high level. That's just awesome to see. Do you sometimes, Elizabeth, have to sometimes sit and say, man, I can't believe this is going on. What's there, all this that's going on? And I'm still in the league. I'm still healthy. I'm playing overseas. I played. And so this, and you know, do you sometimes have to pinch yourself that this is such a great thing you have going right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there are always moments where you're like, wow, I'm still playing. Like I'm still playing at a high level, like still traveling the world and doing this thing that a lot of people don't get the chance to do. So we definitely have moments just of gratitude, to be perfectly honest, that you don't always think about, but when you do, it's like kind of mind blowing. So I'm definitely always grateful for the position I'm in.
When people see you on and off the court, I like to ask this question to people who have a brand. You know, one of my favorite lines of all time is from Jay-Z. I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. What is the Elizabeth Williams? What do you want people to see on and off the court when they come into contact with you? What do you want them to know, and what do you want them to see when they see Elizabeth Williams?
I mean, somebody that they can trust, that they know is gonna work as hard as possible for them, make the best impact that I can off and on the court. You know, so whether that's vaccine education or whether that's blocking a shot, like I always want people to understand what they're gonna expect.
So I'm switching back to basketball. We're going into we played 6 games. We still have a break in between for the Olympics and things of that nature. How good is this team in your opinion? I was told by a few birdies, this team is good. And I think people are beginning to understand that now. What are your thoughts about this team? The speed in the backcourt, the size you guys have, and the block parties y'all still throwing. inside. What are your thoughts about this team, and what can this team potentially do this season?
I mean, I think we could be really good. I don't think we're there yet. Obviously, when you're on a win streak, it feels like you're the best all the time. But we definitely have a really long way to go. But yeah, I mean, the talent is absolutely there. It's just a matter of continuing to gel, continuing to figure each other out, and put it all together.
Elizabeth, a few more questions, and I'll let you go. One, thank you so much for being supportive of my organization and to the kids, Optimize Division. We really appreciate that. We thank you for being so thoughtful for us and helping us out and things of that nature. Just being able to give and to help out others, how important is that to you, that philanthropic work, being able to support people who may not be able to do some of the things? How important is that to be able to do some work like that for certain organizations in general?
Could you hold on 1 second?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're still here, guys. Elizabeth's doing her thing. Just keep it up. We're here with Elizabeth Williams of the Atlanta Dream. Shot blocker extravagant. I can't even say it, extraordinaire. We're on our 85th show, the 85th segment for the OTV Media Network. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at OTV Media Network. Check us out there. All our videos are there. 85 so far. We're still keeping it going. And we hope that you will continue to watch us. We're kicking it back off. We're starting in June with Elizabeth Williams. We got 2 guests next week on next Monday. So we'll be talking then. We got guests all lined up for June, set up for July. So y'all just stay with us. We got some great things coming. So.
Sorry about that.
You had to go outside, I see.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go outside.
It's all good. But just talk about, we were talking about philanthropic work and doing things for people. How important is that for you to be able to give back to the community?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I think whenever you are an athlete in a city, like, it's kind of your duty to be a part of the community and make an impact in that way. So, yeah, for me, giving back, like, it's like kind of part of the deal. And so in any way that I can, like, I think a lot of times people think that it's money, but sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's
Right.
just like being somewhere.
Right.
Like our presence can make a really big impact. So
Absolutely.
for me, like, I try to make sure it's not like, I don't want to feel like I'm like obligated to giving money, but I just want to feel like it's something that I would genuinely want to do and want to make a real impact on.
Is Atlanta your home now? Do you consider you a part of the A-Town? You know how it is when you come to the A, or you've been here 7 years, but do you feel like you're ATLian now? Do you feel like this part of the home for you, where you're home now, the ATL?
Yeah, I do. I live here now, so it's home. Yeah, it's like this is where a lot of my community is now, which which is great. Yeah, I'm happy about it, and I try to do whatever I can while I'm here.
Awesome. All right, Elizabeth, we appreciate you coming on. Hey, if people to follow you, I think they should already be following you, but what can they follow you at? Tell y'all you want to follow Elizabeth because the highlights are going crazy this year with the block party. She also has some great things going. What can they follow you at, Elizabeth?
Instagram and Twitter. So E_Williams_1. I try to be relatively active on both of those. I post more on my story than my actual like page, but I'm on there a good amount. So yeah.
Are y'all off to Friday? Y'all don't have a game until Friday, right?
Right. We're we've just been practicing, so we don't leave till Thursday. Yeah, we go to Minnesota, so it's
Then
actually
you
nice to practice.
yeah, I know, right? To get it back in. Well, Elizabeth, you're one of my favorites. You do so much. Thank you so much for all the help that you give me. I'm working on bringing the kids when they open up a little bit more, so we can have them come to a game and watch you. And hopefully, they always talk about you as one of their favorites. So I'm hoping that we can get them to get in front of you and you can talk to them. But thank you for everything you do. Keep striving and let's win. Let's keep winning. I like this. I like this in Atlanta.
Everybody likes to win, so yeah, absolutely. We got to keep it going, especially on the road. I
Oh
love
yeah.
that.
I like when y'all
Most of
make
our
it
wins
quiet.
are.
I like when
Yeah,
y'all make it
exactly.
quiet. It's beautiful. I like fans, but I like when it goes from noise to quiet. Because I tell you, we talked about this weekend. Atlanta basketball rocked New York this weekend, which was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
we really enjoyed that. So thank you again, everybody. Elizabeth Williams, one of the great people in sports in general. Thank you so much, and have a great day, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Appreciate you always.
Always. Talk to you later.
All right.